Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Erothian Unofficial Spoiler Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Van Sexel, and here with me, as always, is.
Sincho Steve, again everyone. We've also got another guest today, which is always nice to have on, and so welcome.
Yeah, real excited. Real excited about
Hi.
this guy's welcome.
How's it going? It's Rena here. Nah, who am I? I don't know. That's not an intro. Rena the Destroyer. Thanks, guys, for having me. I appreciate it.
We have the Queen of Snakes, Queena herself.
I have many a nickname. That's very true.
So we'll be discussing Regicides Season 4, Episode 12, Thronekeepers Season 2, Episode 9, and Planeswalkers, the episode. And sorry, Scott, but it's still that order.
It's Regicide first. I mean, can you blame them? I don't know. I don't. Hey, that's just me.
Yeah,
Oh, man,
not really these couple of episodes, but certain ones, yes, certain ones, no. Same Kingmaker, but we all know that Thronekeepers the Saints. They never do anything wrong.
So yeah, a lot happened. Just a
So,
little.
Regicide, the continuation of our little spooky one from last week.
It's perfect timing for it, honestly.
Oh man, this episode was
At least it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse, honestly.
You can't really kill atropals, so if it was actually an atropal, shit. Fortunately, it doesn't seem as powerful as that.
Oh yeah. What was the one you were looking at from Pathfinder, or was it from?
5e? I think it's actually from 5e. So,
wow, okay.
Because there's a 5e channel where I was like, there's lore. That's something that's where I heard about it first. So I was like, oh, this. And then Scott starts posting the same pictures and that sort of thing of them. I'm like, oh, don't, like I didn't put two and two together that it could have been an atropal and things. I was like, oh, it'd be funny if the fetus was the most dangerous thing there. Oh, then Scott started posting pictures like, oh, it could be that. And fortunately, it didn't turn out to be that. Well, from what I understand of them anyway. But
I don't know. That thing was still scary though.
Yeah, it's still technically one of the god variants. So.
we were pretty torn about whether or not this was going to be something that was going to be a problem. Messy was kind of like, oh, it's fine. It'll be fine. And Tyler and I over here kind of like, are you sure? Like, I don't know. This seems a little sketch. This weird.
I mean, if it would have drained health from people, being able to drain health from people, hopefully it doesn't grow from that.
I think it's weird though, because you said that Messi was like, "Yeah, we'll win this pretty easily," and he was like the first one to leave.
Yeah,
he's like, "Yeah, it's fine. Bye." I won't lie. I was a little shocked. I was like, "Oh,
that's how you eliminate.
That's what we're doing. Okay, it's fine. I got this. I'll handle it. It's okay. It's fine." No, but I mean, from their perspective, this thing is quite small. So like it, and them really knowing nothing about it, didn't seem like it posed that much of a threat. And if anyone was,
and then all the earthquakes started happening,
right? And then it kind of it snowballed, if you will. Just one thing after another. I mean, he tried. Scott tried.
Yeah.
He always does. He tries his hardest, but I don't know what happens. It just we come out fine.
Yeah, the magic of the rolls. Just like the freaking golem from when you guys first went to the Time Temple. Just inverse.
So wait, can I ask what was going through Rena's mind when she like saw that Elijah went invisible and ran straight towards I guess she didn't see he ran, but
yeah,
she
like
assumed that he just ran.
Yeah, the way Scott was describing it was that he went invisible and that the air, that moved kind of with him, she felt and kind of assumed that okay, he's the only other one back there. Ophios is still here. It's definitely Elijah using
Hmm.
invisibility because he's cast that spell on her so many times before. So by now she kind of recognizes what that feels
Right.
like, I guess. But yeah, I think in that particular moment, her focus was just on this thing, this creature in front of her. And so her instinct is to just, okay, just we got to get out of here already. It's fine. He's on the way. Maybe he'll do something. Maybe not. She just kind of didn't really give it a second thought when it first happened. And then as the fight went on, she was like,
What the
okay,
hell?
Elijah.
Anytime now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of waiting for him to like, I don't know, do something, I guess. But no, I mean that or he just really he's like, no, you're good, you got it. I trust you. It's fine. I'll just go make sure everything with the ladder is good. Like
Yeah, because that
I
ladder
get
got
it.
burnt out. So I'm surprised
Yeah,
Aston was able to get back up that far.
yeah. Things were happening. He was checking our escape route. Just and she's like,
We
all
definitely need that
right.
underground. We definitely need that underground.
Yeah, yeah. But no, she definitely was focused on just kind of fighting this thing and not really thinking twice about what he was doing. More focused on just survival at that point. And then Ophios, who is, well, he's there. He doesn't know why he's there, and he's definitely in the worst case scenario here. So she was just kind of putting herself between him and the thing,
Yeah,
trying
Yeah.
to fight
with
it. So
how Scott and Tyler are playing with Ophio says, oh, he doesn't remember a lot of the stuff he's trained in, a lot of the spells and that sort of thing. So he's running with a halved list almost, or probably even less than that.
yeah,
Yeah.
It really wasn't the best place for him, though. Fortunately, he was able to get a chance to get some clothes on for once, and then as soon as he gets out of there, he loses them again. Oh, jeez.
he can't catch a break.
That's just Ophios, right?
Yeah.
At
Just
this
another
point, it's just
another day in the life.
So the fight basically ended up being a lot of shenanigans of deaf and blind.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I kind of expected like some of the blindness, right? Because the soot being like plumed up and kind of covering the cave as it did before. So I was like, okay, so maybe I won't be able to see as well. But then he's like, "Oh, by the way, you can't hear." Oh. That
It was rather fortunate about like Scott was even talking in the stream about freaking how that thing's scream affects people and that sort of thing. Like first it deafens them, then it scares them.
yeah, the two like status and then somehow it like they like canceled each other out and I was fine after every round after that. I didn't have to keep rolling because I was already deaf. So like it kind of worked out.
And
Yeah.
it can't do it again because you're already deaf.
Yeah.
It's like,
It was it was pretty terrifying though, I won't lie. Like all the events leading up to that point were already scary-ish like
Yeah.
in and of itself because she only has use of her one hand with weapons, right? Like
yeah,
so
yeah,
she's like, okay, I'm kind of inhibited in how I fight. I'm gonna try, but it's not gonna be, I'm not at my peak right now, so that's gonna be a problem. And then just being able, or being unable to see anything or hear anything and imagining being in that scenario, just hoping that this thing is still in front of you so you can hit it because you're literally the only person who can fight. Like a little stressful,
Yep.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was definitely feeling that along with Rena throughout the entire kind of scenario there, and it just ramped up because it was like thinking of so many different ways of how's she gonna escape, what is she gonna do, where is Elijah? I don't know, but I can't hear him even if he wanted to talk to me, so we'll hope he's doing something over there. It was literally a blind like leap of faith there.
Yeah. When he first went invisible, I was hoping he was going to like try to flank it because you guys
Flanking,
get
yeah.
yeah flanking bonuses. So I was like, okay, yeah, this is intelligent. He's gonna go flank the thing. And then when he ran straight towards the ladder, I was like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
He's pulling a reverse Yondis, I think, in this case. That's what I thought of anyway. I was just
Just a
like,
callback to
"Huh?"
when you got surrounded by zombies, by zombie
Yes.
goblins.
Oh, that too. Yeah. I don't know why that keeps happening. We keep ending up in these weird situations with the undead. So weird.
Yeah.
I mean, Rena really has to take down every undead by herself, so
Nothing new, you know.
Yeah.
Another day in the life, you know?
At least you didn't have to deal with those other 4.
Yeah, that's true. That actually worked out. I was a little nervous that those other
Yeah.
creatures were gonna get out, but he kind of, he put up the ice wall and then he was like, "All right, bye." I helped. Bye. No. Um I get it from, his character standpoint.
Yeah, and also like wizards aren't that great in melee in the first place, so I
Yeah.
can understand why he didn't go for the flanking thing. But
Yeah,
it definitely could have been helpful.
especially after his character had already kind of gone through the soot plume before and had to recover from a coughing fit. He's like, "Nope, not again." Like, so yeah, this thing was it was scary to fight. It had a lot of different things, and I'm pretty sure we only saw like a few of the things that it was actually capable of. So
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
definitely
mean, I
get
don't
that
know.
feeling too.
I don't know. I think Rena could have taken down if her hand wasn't like messed up. I think
yeah,
you did a lot more damage than you think you did.
yeah. I think
There's
that I kept overestimating it, maybe thinking it was a lot stronger. I don't know. But
there's
that
also
is kind
something
of how
where not really thinking about some a lot of like undead have like resistances to non-magic weapons and that sort of thing. So and different types of damage and that sort of thing. There's also the
Mhm.
potential that something like that popped in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But she
She was
well, he
using
activated
the
that power
growing
though, right?
sword. So I don't know whether that one has any sort of like magical damage or anything like that attached to it.
Magical
So,
damage on it. Yeah.
It's just kind of it does typical damage. There's no extra like magic
yeah,
effects other than the fact that you can change the size of it. So
yeah,
it's more convenient than anything. And I think that's why she chose it too, is because of its convenience. In case she could use it in a way to maybe she'd make it larger and try to knock this thing over, or maybe because it's so small she needed a smaller, more agile weapon. I think that's why she reached for that one.
yeah.
Hmm.
But
I
yeah.
mean, it would have been interesting to see what the Devil Axe did because most undead don't have souls.
I thought about that one, but then I thought, okay, if this thing latches on to Rena, then she's gonna be
Yeah, you
kind of
don't
screwed if
really.
she tries to hit it with the axe and then maybe it comes back and now her leg's gone. So
Yeah, yeah.
she
You don't
can't
want to
see.
hit yourself with that. You don't
Yeah,
want to hit yourself with that.
right. She's already got one bad hand. If she could be missing a leg too, can't hear or see anything. Like, you might as well, Delphios, take the cape, man. Just take it and go.
So yeah, there was also very lucky that they avoided the rocks falling because that thing was giving off earthquakes, and
Oh
I
yeah.
really can't believe you set it up like that. I was like, really? Really, Scott? Rocks fall? Everyone dies? Is that what's gonna happen? Okay, see. You see how it is?
yeah, rocks
That's a
falling
good
where you
thing
can't
about
see or hear anything. That's
it.
none of that. It's be freaking terrible to freaking just be the PC4.
I had a bad idea, or I had a bad feeling when we were climbing down this 250-foot, ladder. It's like, nothing could go wrong down here, right? No, we're fine. It's fine.
Yeah, the ground's totally still stable after that. After the being that they reckon's become a god's just unleash hell down it.
Yeah. Built to last, really.
Yeah.
You know.
One good thing you can say about them all: anything they have underground lasts longer than above ground.
I guess that's why those things survived, Well, for as long as they did.
Well, survived's a funny sort of word to use for that one, but yeah.
Survived, died, came back to life. Yeah. The really creepy part of this creature though is the fact that its main weapon was its umbilical cord. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
oh, okay,
Well,
interesting. I thought it was
to
gonna
be
be
fair,
magic, right? Like it's gonna force field or something. Like nope, it just the umbilical cord. Yeah.
I don't
Worked
see it
like a
punching
whip.
anyone. I don't see it punching or kicking anyone.
It's creative. I'll give him that.
yeah, that definitely was unsettling, but you know.
Yeah.
I do have a question though.
Mhm.
So when it was time when Elijah was yelling to Ophios, I mean not to Ophios, to you to use the cape, and Ophios was like tugging at your cape or whatever. There was a little bit for where you didn't actually want to use the cape,
That was
and I
rough.
was
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
I was
rough.
wondering if you could get a little bit of insight on that.
So here's the thing. Eh, the- If she had heard him say that, she would have been able to respond, obviously, and say, like, not without you, is probably what
Mhm.
she would have said. Because I mean, she's lost a lot of people, or thought she's lost a lot of people, and every instance there could have been something that she had, there was something that she could have done, and then maybe didn't. And I think that's kind of a callback to when they lost Yondas. Like,
Right.
he talked her into leaving. She kind of fought back, but in the end, like, understood, and so then they left. But I think ultimately she really regrets that. And so being placed in this kind of situation, if she had known that Elijah was still down there, she wouldn't have, she probably wouldn't have used it. But being unable to hear or see anything, she had to just assume. And knowing that he had kind of run past and maybe ran for the exit, she just assumed that he
Already got
either
out.
made it out or was already, like, on his way out. Yeah. But it was a gamble for sure. And I think, as much as it was a struggle for me personally, it was a struggle for her even more, because she's like, I can use this and get Ophios and I out of here, no problem. But, well, almost no problem. But but um am I risking leaving Elijah down here
Elijah.
to be caught? You know what I mean? And that's a tough call to make, because it's really, like I said, a blind leap of faith here. We're really
Yeah.
shooting in the dark, so okay, sorry, all the puns that I got. No, but
At least it wasn't any range combat down there.
yeah, and I'm glad it worked out the way that it did. Like, obviously, it was best case scenario, and yes, it was exactly what she was hoping for in that case. He made it out. Like, there was some panic when they did come back up, and she's like, Ophios
He
is
was
fine,
wondering.
whatever, he's gonna go on and do whatever he's gonna do. But not seeing Elijah up there, she was like, did I leave him down there? And then seeing him, fly out with Aslan, then she was like, okay, it was fine, like, it was worth it. But she was sweating it out for a little while, I won't lie. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a difficult decision.
Yeah. uh, Rena's had like a lot of hard times.
Yeah.
Like losing Yandis, feeling like she lost Ophios for what? It was a good like at least week and a half that she felt like that. And
Yeah,
then
I think so.
having to deal with all that grief. Yeah, she's gone through a lot of like personality changes recently.
Yeah,
Recently, where before she used to just like speak her, it seems like before she used to just speak her mind, and now it's like, no, fuck that, and fuck everybody else who isn't like part of my small circle.
yeah.
So
She's been losing a lot of the people close to her, and it's definitely changed how she kind of perceives other people and the world around her too. She's very much the same in terms of, like, she's got a lot of anger in her. She's ready to fight, she's ready to do whatever, but she's also yeah, a lot more subdued in saying how she feels, or letting too much information out to other people. She's a lot more leery of new members of the party who may be very trustworthy. It could be totally useful, but in this case, she's like, I just don't want to risk it. She's a little bit overly cautious, and maybe even a bit paranoid in some cases. But yeah, I think that she, because of that, is looking to Elijah a lot, and kind of leaning on him in most cases to figure out what the best thing to do is. Because when she did think Ophios was completely gone, she hadn't she felt like she had nothing left, but he
mm,
was there. So she really was just looking to him for answers, really. And he, I mean, he gave them to her. He was like, okay, well, let's keep going, right? Let's keep moving on. And she latched on to that because that's all she had at the time. And she's still very much in that. So, to being that close to possibly losing him in that moment too, she didn't really know how to process that. So it's, I mean, for her sake, I'm happy for her that he made it out, but you know, I think she's going to be going through kind of another big personality change in that. Okay, Elijah is safe, Ophios is back, kind of, but I need to kind of come to terms, or she needs to come to terms with the fact that like things are going to happen eventually, and she's got to be prepared for that, and
Yeah.
um,
Also having to come to
kind of get
terms
back
with
into
the
her own.
changes with Ophios as well at this point.
Yeah, because he's not going to be the same, and she knows that. But she is optimistic, and she's really hopeful about maybe some of his memories kind of coming back, and the fact that he recognized her, you know, air quotes there, um, or at least seemed to, you know, is not helping her optimism here. It's just kind of encouraging her to be like, oh, maybe his memories are coming back. It's fine. Like everything's fine, and everything's not fine, you know. But yeah, it's really interesting. And it happened extremely quickly too. Like it almost feels like every session or every other session there's something big or new like revelation or new like loss or whatever it might be that is testing her, I suppose. So
Mm.
figuring out her dynamic and how to like portray that has been really interesting.
If Yandis comes back, I'm wondering how she will process that.
I've thought about
Because
that a lot. Yeah.
yeah,
It's like, you
because
know,
everyone she thought died hasn't actually died,
right.
and they came back, and it's like,
It's interesting, yeah, because she's like, okay, um, Cadis is alive. Thought he wasn't.
Mhm.
He's alive. He's fine. Okay. He's moving on. Ophios is alive. Thought he wasn't. And then thought he wasn't again. Now he's alive again. Sort of, you know. Well, he is, but he's like half there, you know. And then yeah, t- trying to go through that a third time. I can't say right now what that would do to her because
Yeah,
I'm not sure myself until you know it happens, and I think a lot of that is going to depend on the circumstances, like where are they, who's going to be there, and um like what's going to happen, because she is basically just taking it one day at a time at this point,
yeah,
because that's all anyone can do in that situation, I think.
And so after everyone gets out and Ophios runs down into the tunnels, I was like, oh, I really hope he goes and finds that door. Because I'm part of the Patreon crew that went through and cleared that for Kingmaker. And there's a doorway that was
mm.
trapped that I realized, oh shit, I can't actually disarm this trap as the rogue trap disarming person. This thing, I can't actually disarm this one. Okay, guys, don't go in this one, but we don't necessarily have to tell them about it.
Just avoid this room.
Just
But forget
like
about
it
it.
wasn't actually a room. It's like there's you go down the tunnel and you come to the pool where I almost popped, and people know that otherwise that it's a healing pool because it's full of healing energy, positive energy, and that sort of thing. And if you have a fill of that, you go pop. So, so that's where that is. But there's you come down instead of going that way. Like there's a door to the side. There's a door you come in, and there's a door going basically towards the outside of the mountain, sort of thing. You go to the outside of the mountain and go around. It basically goes the same way as that doorway does. You just go down that way. But I'm just waiting to hear about someone having opened that door.
Open the door.
You hear
Because
Ophios like, I go down this hall, and you're like, no.
it's like, ooh, find the door, find the door, find the door. Because from what I was able to tell from it, I think I was thinking, ooh, this might actually be more dangerous than the time those idiots in Kingmaker trapped their own door.
They just left it there that whole time. They're like, it's fine. Just don't put guards in front of it. Don't let anyone in there. They're like, okay.
So
Yeah.
what happened is Nathan ended up triggering the trap, and they decided
Like,
not to put any traps up there anymore.
because this is the same time that Rayron had his arm issue with where he got bitten by zombies, by infectious zombies and that sort of thing. And Nathan went to go run to his room, and Rayron's room was the trap door.
Hmm.
To go run to his room to get something from him. Boom!
If
So
you
yeah,
explore
there's
the
if there's one
door.
thing you can tell about Kingmaker is that not every door's safe with him. Like
You're
doors
more
are literally
paranoid.
their worst enemy.
Very leery of doors. Got it.
Yeah, they're more paranoid than Regicide is, and Regicide has a actual reason to be paranoid. So I
It's always good to be safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never know what's gonna be behind that door. Could be
don't.
weird
Like
test tubes full of
it's just
undead creatures.
yeah. Like literally, there's a bypass where you can just go around and you can go around that door. You don't have to go through that door. But I'm just waiting to hear that someone has.
I'm sure that'll happen eventually.
Yeah. Uh, but we also end up with as being able to talk to Orpheus on his own, and
Mhm.
that's where we get the confirmation that okay, this thing's probably a 12 or a 13 then the fetus thing, which is 12s became the arbiter and the martyr, and Abstergo 13's no pushover either. Yeah, an undead version of that. Like
It
Yeah.
makes
I can
sense.
understand why it didn't have as much magics and that sort of thing because it wasn't born yet, didn't have the chance to learn them and that sort of thing. But it still has quite a lot of potential.
I was saying it makes sense they were trying to make more, especially if they were kind of getting somewhere with what like the
Mm.
12s, or anything like that. And who knows how far they got in their research. It that was definitely kind of bittersweet, I think, for Aslan because he knew how much information and how many valuable like instruments and scientific things are down there. And here we are, you know, uh, filling it all in. Like, okay, never to open that again. So
Yeah.
And then
and
plotting to dig down into like from where he remembered the spot being, planning to dig down through the keep into there. Like, there's still
it's
one problem with that. The door was sealed against those four. So if you dig down into that room where the four are,
then you got
we
another.
don't know. We don't know how bad the four are yet, but they're still four undead creatures.
They were still alive, technically, yes.
Yeah,
And how long did that
Yep.
ice hold up? Who knows?
because we know for sure that hallway was collapsed. We don't know for sure whether they collapsed past that doorway. And then we're going to find out by going down there, which I don't think anyone's in a rush to do.
I think so. It actually, you just kind of made me think of something. That other room that was down there with the statue. Um,
We never actually got
Possibly.
confirmed whether or not that one was hot or not. Like, no one actually got a chance to go forward and see if it's actually like the other ones.
Yeah, and it's yeah, Rena was the only one who saw it, I think. And she told the others about it, but I mean, when she first saw it, she was like, "Oh, okay, another one of those statues." I mean, it makes sense, like it has something to do with Ophios's people. Like,
Hmm.
didn't even think twice about it because I mean, the last time she saw that was when she was trying to help Ophios out, and
Mm.
still doesn't totally know how that works or what it is. But it's interesting to think about that maybe that room isn't fully collapsed and could possibly be accessed that way. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It just kind of
Yeah.
sparked that. I was like, interesting.
So we know there's one of those in Momley. We know there's one of them in Horde Gwyn, and we knew there was one in the Emperor's Palace. But that's his laboratory.
Yeah.
So
But
Oh,
the only person who knows that it can be teleported, or the only people who knew that it could be teleported, use it as a teleportation device, are the guy in
Ellen,
Momley,
Ophios, Guy, and Momley.
Ellen,
Oh,
and
maybe not even
I was
Ophios at
gonna,
this point because of his
yeah, I was
memories.
gonna say Ophios, but he forgot.
And
yeah.
the
Because
Mole
everyone else
Emperor
knew.
who's up on top of the Time Temple.
So no one else knows it could be used as a teleportation device unless you guys go back to Momley, and there's no reason for you to go back to Momley.
Not the
Not for
moment.
the
So
time being.
Yeah. And even Ellen's in the negative energy plane at the moment. He's not going to be telling on him either.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh
seeing
man.
that Ophios had lived after Rena had kind of wrapped him around the statue, she could take a wild guess in that it does work like that, but she's not someone who completely understands how magic works. She just knows that it exists and that, you know, Elijah can manipulate ice, and fire sometimes, I guess, and that's that she's her extent of knowing that kind of thing is not very it's not a lot, so she may or may not put two and two together to be able to be like, you know what, that could be used to
Yeah, I
travel
mean,
between places. But
I think the only things you've had with any sort of like space things are like your cloak, like traveling, teleporting through it. But that's a wearable
yeah,
one. Why would you make that connection between statues? And then there's also
right,
Mhm.
the Lopers making that bubble that makes it so people can't move through things. But that's the opposite. And it's also Loper stuff. Why do you use that? So,
right, exactly.
so yeah. Then on the
I
plus side, I
really
think you're getting familiar with the Loper stuff.
Yeah,
Even,
I feel like there's a lot of lore that we picked up in these past like what 3 or 4 sessions now.
Yeah.
It's a lot we've learned about them.
Yep.
And I
I
feel
had
for
I had a lot of that already from playing Jamalis, but no, there was still stuff even I figured it, like I got told about it so in these sessions. So
yeah, I feel for Tyler and Ophios in this case because I can't imagine how difficult it has to be to know all of this about your character and having your
Mhm.
character
having
gone
to hit
through
the reset button, yeah,
to have to just cut it all off and leave it there and start from basically scratch so it's really difficult so I applaud him in that he's kind of able to come up with something on the fly because that's I don't know what I would do. I would just kind of be like but he, it'll be interesting to see what he does end up remembering, if anything,
mm,
or what he'll have to relearn, or what his perspective is based on what Aslan tells him and what
Mhm.
Rena talks to him about too, because I feel like he is pretty impressionable. Like right now, like as it's essentially being
yeah.
reborn. Like any new information he's going to take in without really thinking twice about it and just kind of connect that with what he already knows. So I'm
Lucky
really
it's
interested.
Aslan they're selling him then, because Aslan knows a lot of stuff. Like Aslan
Yeah,
knows a lot of stuff about Lopez and the Sloko, as he's explained to Kingmaker. So there's a little bit of kind loyalty there that he's sharing it, but not that much that he'd actually go and save the egg in the first place.
he's like,
Yeah, but
I'm
the
out of here.
I was gonna
To
say
be
yeah,
fair,
but
that was a smart decision.
Yeah,
the bad thing is that he's kind of telling Ophios not to trust Elijah. He tells him to trust Rena, but it's like don't trust Elijah because he's stupid. And it's like now when he comes back to the party, it's gonna be like, yeah, I'm not listening to you. Where that connection that they once had is not gonna be there anymore. Even though the like Rena and Ophios are gonna have to rebuild their connection. There was already a little bit there because he recognized Rena, so it was like, okay, she must not be a bad person because I recognize this person and she's speaking my language.
yeah,
Where
she's got a
whereas
leg up in that case.
yeah,
It's funny because it's going to be a little bit like how their dynamic was with Yondis, where Ophius wasn't really trusting of him, and so it might even be. I wouldn't even be surprised if it played out the same way, but with
yeah,
Elijah, because that's his instinct, is
Yeah,
to have to
more
build
party
that trust
conflict.
through combat in his so it would be kind of funny.
and then if Elijah comes, I mean, if Yondas comes back, oh man,
Round two,
That's
yeah,
going to hit. That's only going to hit Rainer at this point. That's,
yeah.
that's,
yeah,
Because Ophios won't remember who the heck it was. Elijah never met
it's
him.
gonna it's gonna suck, dude, because it's gonna yeah, because Tyler's not gonna be able to get to really experience that emotional RP with Ophios. It's
With,
not gonna be
yeah.
such a huge hit. Oh, well, it shouldn't be such a huge hit for Ophios unless he gets his memories back, because he was saying that his memory is coming back very slowly. So we'll see.
It's possible he could remember who he is before he sees him. Um,
Yeah,
but it could be spotty too,
Yeah.
It could
yeah.
be like, yeah, I
There's
know
no
Giannis.
guarantee he's getting those exact
We're
memories back.
we left him, and he's like, what do you mean he hasn't been with us the whole time? Like, uh, about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Um, quick things I think we forgot. and I'm gonna bring this up later. Exactly why it's karma is so many nat 20s this session with you guys being able to just like trounce on Scott's rolls.
I think I got what, like two. I don't know if I got two in a row, but I know
Got
Messi
two
got
in a
one.
row on attacks, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it was a tax, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, and then he got two in a row, and we were just I don't we really lucked out on our rolls for this combat, which
Roll
I
training
think
was very generous.
that was probably a huge reason why we all made it out there pretty much unscathed.
Let's just call that karma
Yeah.
for for Planeswalker. Because I'm pretty sure Jake was enjoying that if he got to watch it.
I only saw just a bit of Planeswalker. I do try to watch the others sessions when I can. We all know life things, so and so I didn't get to see that far, but yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
when we get there, just remember like how good it must have felt, how bad it must have felt for Scott.
yeah. But yeah,
Oh,
Red Side got to meet pretty much most of the new advisors and stuff from Kingmaker. So they've met Ezek, they've met Alson, they've met well, Dwayne's not an advisor, but he's technically a newer NPC sort of person. Hans is one of the really old ones, so
Yeah, which I almost forgot that we met her way back
I did
when,
too.
and until he said, a hobgoblin woman, and I was like, okay, I definitely know where we met her before. And that was interesting that she shared
I
with
think that
us.
one was just she was just making Ophios a blade, eh?
Yeah,
yeah.
he had requested it at the time we found the material. I think got that, and then she was like, "Great, it's gonna take like a year or two or something." And he was
Mhm.
like, "What?" And then we
Yeah,
just forgot about that. Yeah, so
yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I'd like to collect that now." Actually,
Um, it's funny we get to TK for that one, but yeah.
I know a little bit about that.
I mean, he doesn't remember making the order, so it's just Hunter wasting her time again, as always, thanks to Kingmaker.
It'll be difficult to explain to him. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like, how do you explain to someone that there was an order for them that they never knew about?
Yeah. Yep.
And they're supposed to kill this amazing weapon and that sort of thing, and he doesn't even remember why he needed it.
It's like, what's this for again? I don't know. It's nice though. Hangs on to it, but we gotta get it first.
Oh man,
But yeah, it was
I
quite
honestly
the
can't
session.
wait for the crossover episode. I really want to see how Rena reacts to to these two jewels acting like catty little brats.
Oh, that second
Because
half of Throwing People was so good.
It's
like,
gonna be
like,
the
much as
like,
theme.
Rita
the
had to
first the
go
first
through.
half was good. First half was good, but the second
Yeah.
half was so
I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I'm looking forward.
good. Yes.
I'm just yeah, I'm just like trying to figure out like as much as Rena has had to go through, and she just comes and she sees like two women acting like little brats because they're mad at each other. Oh, dude, I can't wait to see how she reacts to that shit.
Yep, yep. That's gonna be that'll be an interaction for sure.
So I think they covered everything from Regicide this week. So seeing as we started, may as well go into Throne Keeper, right?
Yeah.
So we have Laszlo and Oscar meeting Leon, and yeah, they want to get him with them. I think everyone in Thronekeep underestimates some of the NPCs on Kingmaker.
Mhm.
And I think Sal even agrees on that because he was saying that in the chat.
So
Well, and
yeah.
what I remember from just hearing about General Yeager through Cadis, I believe it was, who
Yeah,
told me he's a very strong and competent leader. I mean, he trained Cadis himself, so that says a lot right there. So that's I imagine
and
this
a
is
lot of
not something.
others as well, according to Naga. So that's going to be fun bumping into more of those.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Actually,
he's a very very strong-willed sort of person, and very much I'm going to get the task. Like, I've been given my task, I'll get it done. Like, so
Yeah. This episode though, we find out that Jaeger probably trained Barnes also, right? He trained Barnes and then her former leader or her former what the hell is it?
superior
Commander.
commander. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they actually say that he trained Barnes?
I thought he was saying that somebody he used to train, he trained before, and then she went with I forget that guy's name, the one you guys killed, Rena, the the former commander.
Oh, okay. So it did
Oh,
mention that. Okay, that's
yeah.
part of it. I understand.
Yeah,
I don't
because he was
remember his
telling.
name, but I do remember we took his head off. Yeah, I remember that clearly. Not one for names.
Yeah, no, it's
Not
just
at
like,
that point, anyway.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
But he was Laszlo and Oscar were trying to talk him up and say, hey, we need your help. We need you to come with us because we're trying to make this whole new nation for to free the slaves so that they can have their own nation and build up that kind of stuff. And they were like, you're such a great teacher, and they're trying to up his ego, but Leon doesn't really it doesn't really work on Leon. So
yeah,
it was interesting to see them try that.
I think
Seems
he's
like a
used to flattery.
business first kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's the sort of person that has time for sycophants.
Yeah. They they tell him that what was his name, Lander, is in charge of a military group, and he's like, whoever the hell put Lander in charge of a military group is an idiot. And they have no idea what his strong points are.
Yeah, because he was originally made to be a counselor. So, counselor. Yeah. Which is basically the person that if people have problems, they go to him, and
Mm-hmm.
he talks to people about getting those problems sorted. So, in terms of like Pathfinder making kingdom building rules and that sort of thing, that's the advisor position he was best fit for. So,
Mm-hmm.
and, yeah, he's not that very smart when it comes to military matters now.
We find out a little bit more information on Icarus also. Icarus, who I don't know if we actually met him rather than he was just talked about.
I don't think anyone's actually met him yet. I think it's generally just a case
Okay.
of everyone's talking to people around him. Lando's definitely one of the people that has met him, but everyone else has talked to Lando, not to him. I know Kingmaker hasn't met them yet. I don't think Regicide's met him yet. I don't
Doesn't
think,
ring a bell.
and we know that TK ended up meeting Lando instead of him because everyone points people to Lando before Lando points them to Icarus, is my understanding, or other people point
Right.
to Icarus.
So I was looking into my notes actually to see if I can find it. But Icarus was once a Yovant slave. He worked his way through Inclame, kind of like Cadus did, but he never became an officer like Cadus. Uh, Apparently, he just left.
Oh, so like Rena.
Yeah.
She worked through Inclame and then left. She was
So
like,
yeah.
nope, not for me.
Well, I guess he left to go take back, like, to go help free the slaves from Yovant because he served in the Leon, and I guess Rena must have started to maybe.
It
She
was
must have been in
mostly
like
just like
Leon's
the
army.
training, yeah, and then I should say it was more, maybe it wasn't Inclame that she went through, but because that comes after like all the training, so that's the direction Cadis went, and she actually went the opposite direction and decided to
Mm,
work for them instead. That which is why she became a smith or smithy.
right.
So
Okay.
and then she left.
Oh, you know what? Was Rena was her family smiths before, where she had some smithing ability, or did she like learn that through Inclement?
I think that she would have picked all of that up through you know the Inclame, I guess.
Okay.
Because before it was just her and her family, they lived there, and it was just a regular life. Maybe they had like a farm or they were ranchers or whatever. It had been pretty simple enough until uh everything changed, you know.
Gyarados
When
attacked.
Paradell attacked, yeah, yeah, exactly.
When Gyarados
So,
attacked.
but yeah, then she was kind of rounded up with
That's not the
other
only
dogs.
Otay reference this week. I think I also put in one, but then one day they vanished.
That's exactly
But it
right.
will be
Yeah.
the most they vanished. Yeah.
Where's the lie? The Fire Nation is Paradell. Paradell's Fire Nation. Makes sense.
Oh man. So Leon ended up giving what's his name, Laszlo and Oscar a few options for people to deal with in Galdaria for their help as well. He brings up Commander Barnes, saying that they had former relationship, and to bring up her commander. I'm sorry, her former commander's name when when if they when and if they do meet her, and to say, you know, to get help from some of the contacts that he used to have with Galdaria. And then he says that he personally will go and talk to a man who's hanging out with the free folk, Stalingrad, and try to get their family's support also.
That must have been fun for
Which
you.
is yeah, which is gonna be interesting when we have our Patreon session.
Might get you away from the madness gate.
Oh,
It's like we know of
yeah, we're pretty close to.
because they're camping outside the madness keep at the moment. I'm just like, can we avoid going there at any cost? Because none of the party, and also they've got an axe beak, a big axe beak. None have got good will saves, and a berserk freaking axe beak that's wiping out tons of zombies as soon as they walk into it. It's like as soon as it walks into its 10 feet freaking range and that sort of thing, like instantly gibbeting them. It's like I don't want to be on the receiving end of that.
So, Rena, I don't know if you heard on the previous episodes in the Patreon game. I have a character named Aldor Stalingrad, and he's the least charismatic merchant in all time.
A good archer though.
So anyway,
He sells things, but he doesn't got the
yeah,
salesman kind of attitude.
Well,
Then, huh?
I forgot how I was selling him, but apparently his like
you've got the whole rote, rehearsed freaking.
yeah, yeah. So whenever he goes into sales pitch mode, he like gets super robotic and rehearsed, and like he's like, "Hello, my name is Aldor Stalling. It is nice to meet you." And he's like, whenever he's talking normally, he's fine, but when he feels like he has to do a sales pitch, that's how bad it is. So, but apparently his family makes some of the best crossbows, whatever. And so he ended up going to Kingmaker, and he was trying to set up a deal with them. It was actually as a diversion because of what was going on in the session during then. But he ended up signing the deal, and Kingmaker now has Stalingrad bows, or is supposed to be getting them pretty soon. So,
So that's how he knows about that. So that's how he knows about that. That's how Leon knows about
the
that.
worst salesman of all time.
He's like, look, okay, I just make good weapons, take them. That's it. Give me the money.
He
They're
doesn't
like,
even
all
make them
right.
his badges.
Oh, so he's just out
He's
here
just
trying
very
to
good
sell
at
them.
using them. He's very good at using them.
He's doing it. He's doing the most. He's doing his best.
Yeah.
I see him.
So it's gonna be-
He was talking about Erwin at one point. Okay, because I understand why he'd ask about Arthur, but Erwin.
Right. Erwin apparently went to
Yeah, he went to
Malta as well.
Malta. Yeah.
Yeah.
My character
And so
and
he was
Sal's
actually
character
tasked
getting
by
him
Hollywood.
across Tajan Dell and giving him directions. So at the end of the whole, we may have cleared out a prison of like all guards but 3 of them, which we just locked in a cell. Yeah, so.
And this is Erwin. That's so funny because it's yet another person that they thought had died. Who is not?
You guys got told by Cadus, apparently he escaped.
Yeah, that's true.
That was like before we actually had the sessions. I was like, oh shit, we need to fucking put a lot more fucking effort into this. And it was a very close thing. It was a very close thing because they had a freaking gnome in there, freaking one that could create walls of fire and that sort of thing. I was like, and it could like add shocking grass and that sort of thing when I'm using a sword. So I went down twice because of that bastard's freaking shocking grass and almost killed our healer and took away his witch powers from the wall of fire. It's like
Yeah,
it was a very freaking close thing.
it's hilarious. You guys think you have it bad for when we play Patreon games. Scott turns that shit on. Like
He's like, this is
he
where
is
I can go all
super
out.
rule. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't get to kill anybody in the week, so
So takes it out on Patreon.
Well,
Patreon, man.
there have been,
Brunt of it.
I think, 4 proper deaths like in Patreon. I think that's 2 of them are Josh and 2 of them are Naga.
Oh man, that was so.
I think actually Josh's second one was actually he came back because I think that's the pool one that we're counting, but.
Yeah. I feel so.
Yeah, so mentioning Erwin.
Okay. Yeah, he was just basically asking if they met Erwin or Arthur, and Laszlo and Oscar were like, I don't know who the hell you're talking about. So they also let Leon know about Tristan, and that Tristan was Raven's brother, and that's how they ended up getting there. Also, so I don't know if he's ever going to get a chance to meet him, but if he does,
I mean,
by the way,
meeting the good brother as opposed to the person that he works with. Like, maybe I should have chosen who I work with better.
Tristan's a lot more amicable than his brother, but he's he actually cares about his brother a lot, and we get to see that more with going through Chrisellen and Tristan part of the story.
I had a lot of fun with that part of the show. It's like,
so that's where Laszlo and Oscar were, but then Chrisellen's not with them here when they're talking to you.
No, they got split up on the episode before this one, shadow traveling, and they weren't staying as close to each other as they thought they were. So, because like the space that they travel, like long distances get made really, really short, and they were just that little distance away from each other when they came out of it, and that little distance in the material plane was a lot bigger. So. Laszlo was fortunate that Oscar was carrying his drunk ass that entire time, so those two didn't end up getting separated. So that's fortunate, because the entire last session of Thronekeeper, Laszlo was so drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Oscar's like, well, now I gotta carry you, I guess.
Yeah. They end up popping out.
I don't.
Which I imagine was pretty easy for Oscar, because he's big paladin, and Laszlo's
he's
tiny
soldier person, yeah, because Fantasy Age doesn't really have paladins and that sort of thing. My understanding is they have mage, rogue, and warrior. So apparently it's based off Dragon Age systems, so that's interesting.
No, I'm thinking now. I'm wondering how Chrisellen and Rena are going to get along, because Chrisellen likes to be heard, and she expects people to to listen to her when she talks. And Rena's like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up."
Yeah, her buttons are easily pushed. I won't lie. It only takes a few comments. I mean, you saw that interaction with Barnes and her took everything in her not to step, you know? She's like, I guess I promised Elijah, but fine. Just
I can't wait for this crossover now.
It's funny how Oscar says, yeah, I don't think Redside's going to murder us as much as Kingmaker.
I was thinking the same thing, because I'm like, this dude is super uptight, which Rena is kind of about, because she already has to deal with Cadus, and the only reason she deals with him is because he's an old friend. and then like I don't know, dude. I really want to see how they get along. I'm just excited.
I think Laszlo's probably going to be the safest one of them. I don't even think Elijah's going to go after him, and Gnomes and Malta don't agree with each other.
Oh man.
I think him and Elijah will be a pretty chill hangout.
Elphios is just along for the ride at that point, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
he'll probably just play it however Rena plays it. So that could be interesting too.
Yeah, that's gonna suck, dude.
So yeah, Thronekeeper meets all the old advisors NPCs in this session because they met Leon before and mention of Arthur, and then Chriselle and Tristan end up meeting. I think it was Glugmug first. I think it was actually Glugmug first, which is funny because they went to the weapon shopping.
They went shopping. I don't think they met Glugmug.
Yeah, Glugmug's the one in the freaking smithy.
Was that him?
Yeah, that's him.
Holy shit!
He's good with working with wood and really good with working with barrels and that sort of thing. I'm like, oh yeah, this Glugmug.
No
Answer's not going to be happy. Answer's not going to be happy. Because Glugmug was put to work under her and that sort of thing before he was put into Royal Enforcer, so it makes sense why he's hanging around there still, but...
Because I was like, I like this dude, you know? He doesn't know what he's doing, but he's chill about it. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but whatever. I don't care. I was like, I like this guy. No wonder I liked him. He's a Glugmug.
So yeah, let's just I'll take it back a little bit where it was, okay, they walk in and Tristan goes, hey, is Kithel here? I've been talking with him in correspondence and I'm hoping to be able to have a chance to meet with him. He's going to be busy for probably a couple of hours, so if you can wait that long, this thing. Okay, yep. And we'll just, and Chriselle goes, okay, yep, we'll just go end up going buying stuff and gifts and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was a frickin' hurdle and a half going. What they're gonna end up getting. Mm-hmm. And then Naga and everyone in chat going, how the heck does Kithel know Tristan?
We find out that Steve actually set up before it's his favorite. When did you do that?
That was way. I didn't do it for Tristan specifically, but it was like way before Kithel, before the battle outside of Valorant, before Kithel went for that, because I put another one specifically there because this is when me and Josh both got a fuck ton of daddies to spend from Scott, because it was like a lot of freaking because it was a catch up thing because daddies for gift subs and that sort of thing didn't come through at that point, and so Scott had to reimburse me and Josh for all the ones we'd given at that point. So and then Josh freaking gambled his way up to the fucking almost fucking 1 million daddies, I think it was at one point, and then he freaking gambled it all away.
Those little games are dangerous, man. They're like, so there's so little, it's so quick, but like somehow I just want to keep playing. I don't know.
For me, it's procession. If I go beyond one, I'm like, no, I'm gonna lose all my points. So nope.
If it's me, I'm only doing it once I've got nothing to spend. Like once I got points that I don't have enough to spend on anything, I'll give it a go at gambling thing. That's about it. Once I got something to spend, I'm not gambling. I'm using.
I've got the worst logic with it. I have to, like, if I lose, I'm like, well, now I have to play because I got to win it back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yep. And then I do. And then I'm like, well, I could probably win again, you know? And then it's this horrible cycle, you know? So I steer clear of that.
Yeah, so specifically with that one that I can remember, it was a case of Kithel does something that saves the day or something like that. This is before the battle for Valorant, before I had to play another one to go, I fucking have to play one to freaking save Kithel now, don't I?
Okay. Because I was gonna say, you mean Kithel offered his services to go and walk over to the enemy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that's what it was originally too, but no, it's something else. Okay.
That's cool.
So that was 9 months ago. I knew that I played it, but I don't really remember why I played it. It was I can remember kind of what I wrote, but yeah. So yeah, so
Uh,
that turned out how Tristan knows Kithel, and I'm trying to see how that goes to save the day. But oh well. I mean, it wasn't the first time what I Fortune's favors this week got interpreted weirdly, but
I am curious on what you actually wrote in the Fortune's favor, but yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there.
yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there. So yeah, we have friendly relations to Kithel and gifts that Chrisan was thinking of. We'll get him nuts and meat and that sort of thing, like because he's got a brewery and that sort of thing. Like, he's not like a typical person. He's not like a typical man. So your idea for like, oh, I know appetites of men and that sort of thing. Like, yeah, but he's not a typical man. He's probably more practical stuff and that sort of thing. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
so what? A big ball of twine or something like that? And it's like, yeah, he's made out of rock.
It's
Oh,
difficult. What do you get a man who's made completely out of stone?
I mean, one of the things she said before that was also a hairbrush. And I'm just like,
Didn't she also say shoe polish at
yeah,
one
shoe
point?
polish as well. Like,
Yeah.
I can kind of see the shoe polish. I can kind of see the shoe polish, but
What about a giant rock tumbler? No. Okay.
well, there's a wooden puzzle toy thing that was supposed to be come out with. I'm like, the only ones
Think
I know,
outside the box, you know.
the only ones I know are like freaking like puzzle ones. You literally put them together into a cube and that sort of thing. But like, that's probably the only thing I can think of for that.
Yeah.
So what they decided on a weapon? Is that what it was?
A puzzle toy. That's what they
Oh, the
decided.
puzzle toy. Oh, okay.
It's like, and then they decided to get a weapon for Tristan, and
Ah, that's right.
And Tristan ended up paying.
yeah, yeah.
You know, you gotta treat yourself, right? She was just encouraging.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I mean, once he had his eyes set on the sword, did you really need the club and bow and arrows?
yeah. I'm curious on why she bought all the rest of that stuff. I think she bought the bow for her, right?
I don't know. I think that was all for him at that point, but it could be that the bow was for her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think she ended up taking it with her. Is the thing.
Because I was like, why'd you buy the bow? You have a Stalingrad bow. You don't need a regular bow and arrow at this point.
Yeah.
But all right.
Can never have too many bows, I guess.
Oh man. Apparently, like, so when I made Stalingrad, I originally had in mind that his family was like a small group of families in Galduria that were like all competing for like
Bow crafting and stuff.
bowmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the way Milver took it is that he was like, their bows are famous throughout Eroth. So I was like, all right, that's cool.
Okay.
So she has like one of the best bows in Eroth, and she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go buy a bow and arrow, whatever.
I don't think that's sunk in yet. To be fair, she hasn't used it that much.
Yeah, that's true. But I think at that point is when they go and they are able to talk to Kithel, and they let Kithel know that. I mean, I'm sorry. They go and ask Kithel to talk to Rayrin. Of course, at that point, Kithel takes them up to the library and tells them that Rayrin is not on this plane of existence, which he tries to like sugarcoat it and explain the planes of existence, and then
Just
Tristan
Miller
already
does.
knows. Yeah, he's like, "What do you mean he's not on this plane of existence?" So he tells him which plane he went to, according to Cadus.
Cadus.
Cadus,
Yeah.
yeah, Cadus already stopped by. I forgot the name.
Kersel, yeah.
Which I was kind of surprised about.
Well, he did
Yeah,
say that he was going to go and move the troops from that keep north of there. So it's just funny
Yeah,
how Scott keeps on getting directions mixed up with Thronekeeper, specifically Thronekeeper. Because he said it was to the east, but I'm pretty sure the one to the east is this one, or at least would win.
I was
Just
just
needs a
surprised
map
that
up in front of him constantly. So he's like, okay, where are we?
because wasn't he with you guys like just last episode? Cadis, I mean.
Yes. Or
Right
no,
at the
actually, he
start.
had left us. It wasn't the last one. The one before that, he was
Yeah,
with
yeah, the
us,
one
and then
before that. And
he left to go take care of something else. He said he was supposed to help people occupy a territory, which he might be referring to. I don't know if it was Jaeger
I
in
think it
this
was
case or.
I think it was specifically that that he had to get troops out of somewhere when he was talking
Yeah.
to you guys.
Oh yeah, that he had sent troops somewhere. Yep.
Yeah, I
But
was just confused because I thought he was with you, and this may be me misremembering. I thought he was with you guys before you met Nathan again, but you know,
oh, he wasn't. No. We had gone our separate ways, and we decided to go meet up
uh,
with Dwayne actually, and that's where we met
uh,
Yeah,
Nathan
this
and
this is the first time that was the first time they met Nathan. Yeah,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
so that happened. So they already met Cadis. Cadis gave them the entire rundown, and hopefully he told them that you guys helped, so that when you go there, you're not criminals.
No, 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 no,
Hopefully.
no, no, no. They're not in trouble in Curse Form. They're in trouble in Horde Gwen.
They don't
But
have rear end there.
We're in trouble everywhere we go. It's
Yeah,
inevitable, really. It's okay though. Figure it out.
they don't have
well,
rear end there to do some
I
of the
think
shit. So
technically Ophis is still in trouble in Curse Form, but that's because he robbed very like people like merchants that they really really like.
was he the Snake Man? I mean, did he have his
This
did
is
he have his
up.
disguise on it?
I don't think so.
When he was in Curse Fault.
Yeah, he had clothes at
Yeah,
that point, and
Yeah, I
the
think so.
guards did get a look at his face as they're
and they saw
chasing
the
him.
snake.
I
So
think it was
hopefully he knows how to. Yeah, hopefully he knows how to use disguise self.
just look like a loper. He'll be fine. He's definitely not a snake person then. And the
Oh man.
people that killed the loper in the war, they died.
Oh man, I'm worried about him, dude. I'm so worried about Ophios. I completely forgot that.
Yeah, I remember there were like rumors. They were like, "Yeah, the Snake Man," and then we were like, "Huh, weird. That's weird." Anyway, and then he came back, and we were like, "Oh, yikes!" So
And then people know what Rena looked like, and she's the destroyer. So
yeah, having a reputation is a little rough. She's
it
really
wasn't
rethinking her decision to start that rebellion.
I mean, at first
Technically,
you
you're a
would consider
pardon.
like, eh, I
Technically,
mean,
yeah,
at first she was considered a hero, so and
true.
Kurzweil, and then
At least we got the pardon
You
now.
die a
It's
hero, live long enough to see yourself become the villain, eh?
it's
It also applies to Aaron too.
look where that got him.
Yeah, and the planet ooze. The only thing you can eat is ooze.
And all they
And
left
they're slowly
behind was like,
turning him into ooze. Yeah. So, the only way out's with the help of devils.
I'm sure it'll turn out fine.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
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 Yep, absolutely. No problem. Not at all. It's just a blessing from a devil.
Yeah.
I
What could
mean,
go
the
wrong?
devil even offered him a way without costing him a boon. Eh? He's still got 2 of those left. A real freebie, that one.
Oh,
Yeah, so back to Thronekeeper with Kithel was still telling Tristan, and Tristan was still finishing Kithel's sentences and that sort of thing. Which, I mean, considering he's in intelligence and intelligence agency for Malta, and Kithel speaks slowly, it's kind of always going to happen. And
Castellan had no idea what was going on though, so that's cool.
yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
is that where the because I forgot to ask this earlier when they were in Hans's shop, but the sword they purchased,
Yeah, that you guys were talking about with Hansa about Orpheus' sword.
Right.
Yeah, and Tristan had to leave early using the shadow plane magic stuff.
Oh,
So I think that sword's quite a few miles away now. I think it's probably back in Malta. So as soon as you guys get back to the original plan of going to Malta, you'll probably find it again.
that's hilarious. I knew it as soon as
Because we're
I was
thinking,
watching. I was like, oh no,
I
not the sword.
because I think we were thinking that it was a bastard sword, a certain bastard sword that we got when we liberated Irwin. No, it wasn't that because I was like, we're not getting the bastard sword descriptor. We're just getting a sword. So this is a special sword. It's either for Rayron or it's for someone else. Oh, then I got reminded about it when watching Regicide. Like, oh,
Regicide,
And
yeah.
it's a falchion, right? Because that's what he had ordered. Yeah,
well, it's
yeah.
a sword. Still, technically, the bastard sword's like a hand and a half or two-handed sword. So you'd that'd definitely be a good descriptor in there, just like the size of it and that sort of thing. So it was just described as a sword, so it could easily be like a long sword or something like that, or it could be a falchion.
Right. Yeah.
But like if it was a bastard sword, that really stick out.
So
Yeah, 'cause
Crisellan told
he's
Tristan
just
he should get this sword in particular because
Along with the
the
club
person
and
who was
bow and
there.
that sort of thing. And Glegmo didn't know that it wasn't supposed to be sold.
He's just doing his job. I mean, I can't blame him, you know.
Hans is gonna fucking flay him alive, just so you know.
It was
Poor guy
only
better
100
not be there
gold.
when she comes back.
It was only 100 gold. That's it. Like,
100 gold
That
for
hurts.
everything.
That hurts. I'm not even Ophios, and that hurts.
It's fucking like cold iron and everything. It's like I think 100 gold for a cold iron thing would probably be like a toothpick.
Let's hope Ophios doesn't remember that when we go back.
Yeah, but Hansa will. Hansa will
Yeah.
remember and we'll find out that it's not there. And then Glenn will go, "Oh yeah, I sold all this stuff because that's just his personality." And it's like he's not going to freaking
He's not gonna give it.
he's not going to be deceptive about that. He's like, "Yeah, cool, I sold this." So like, okay.
You what?
Cracks knuckles. Goes rifling through her inventory for a specific sort of club, and just goes, "Hey, come back to the back room here, Grog Mug."
I want to talk to you. Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
He's
Yeah,
just so
Rita.
much
As soon
trouble.
as you said that, it made more sense because I thought it was like a sword for Raven or something. I was like, maybe she was making something for Raven, and I forgot about that. But oh man, I'm so
Yeah.
happy you brought that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I
Oh,
was waiting for the bastard sword descriptor or or anything else to like go. Oh, it must be that sword. No, then either it's Rayron or someone else. Oh, it
yeah.
I
wasn't
mean,
Rayron.
this could be some indirect karma here as well because technically I still have the axe that was given to me.
Yeah,
So I have their axe, they have our sword, you know? It's even trade.
And Kingmaker still has nothing.
Yeah. Poor Kingmaker.
Kingmaker's just got to steal something from TK. Well, have they already when they got Ravina?
What happened next? Yeah, so Tristan ends up storming out of the room, as politely as possible.
Bumping into Elliot, who was on
Nothing
his
like,
way in.
yeah.
Kethel little sass thing there was like, "Don't you have another building where you've got all your stuff?" Like specifically, they're supposed to be for all of us, but it's all your stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting to see how
And
that
so
happened.
Elliot's like really good, like traveled lots of languages, pretty much every language sort of person. So it makes sense that Salon would be interested in that sort of person because holy shit, what the hell's someone like him doing out here where he seems to know everything, like etiquette wise and that sort of thing. Like, surprisingly, that there's a number of people in Kurzweil that actually know anything about etiquette in other countries. It's like all the freaking slide marks about freaking Curseful in this.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up. I was about to say, let's not forget how how underhandedly how underhandedly Chris Allen was talking about Griswold. Yeah, all these dirt roads and yay. And
Quaint.
these very small houses.
Chris Ellen's got champagne taste, you know?
Yeah.
She misses her, cobblestone roads normally?
It's probably properly paved, but yeah.
Yeah.
Place where she is usually wealthy enough for it, so yeah. So yeah, there's just another dig there, but and ends up chatting with Kithel a lot, like, and then bumping into Ravina.
Yeah, she actually learns a lot about Kithel.
Yeah, like I've always said, like I'm one that made Kithel, but I only ever gave this personality description. I didn't make any backstory or anything like that. So it was interesting to find out, like, is it like everyone else was?
You want to talk about some of the stuff we've learned about Kithel?
Well, we learned all that
Have we
stuff
talked
after we learned all that stuff after the whole first cat fight moment. So we probably
Oh,
should go.
really?
Yeah, it was all
Yeah,
quickly after that. Because Kithel had
so
to
I
stop doing what
remember.
he was doing and make sure that Ravina didn't chase him down.
So
I'm just saying
wait,
that between a ruby and a diamond, my money's on the ruby.
so Kithel is talking about jewels or whatever, and Chris Owens hints that she's a jewel, and Kithel says that's not the she's not the first jewel he's ever met. He's met a sunstone, and right as
And
he's
Amber, yeah.
about, yeah, and Amber, his last name was Sunstone. Sorry. Right as he was about to bring up Ravina, she walks out of the room, and Scott was saying, "Looking flawless as always," But then
Poor Scott.
Chris
I
Owens
clipped the end of that, but it's like, no, I want the upper hand. Why do you have to roll so freaking good twice?
Chris Ellen notices it's Ravina, and because of her freaking amazing rolls, because I was kind of under the
Her
impression
maximum
also,
roll is 23. She got 21s.
She
dude,
didn't
I
come to
was
play.
yeah, no, definitely not good. Because like I was under the impression that Chris Ellen probably didn't even know who the hell she was, like it
Well,
was this one
that
agent.
notion was definitely thoroughly disabused with those freaking 21s.
So just to give a little backstory here, Chris Ellen, I think about was probably 2 years at this point for her, or maybe a year and a couple of months during some big event or party or whatever. She ended up giving this outburst talking about how Malta is a great place and all these positive things about a Malta right in front of the Astarian ball or party or whatever. And Ravina is a ruby, which is
Assassin.
a ruby is an assassin that is like dresses up as a diamond,
Well,
and
as anyone they need to, really, but more frequently diamonds.
yeah, yeah, what Steve said. So she had a date that night, and she was supposed to be, killing her mark or whatever. And Chris Ellen fucked that up for her, so she was very angry at Chris Ellen, and apparently throwing around insults and all this other kind of stuff. And Chris Ellen ended up hearing about it, and
Well,
what's her name? Ravina ended up getting framed.
your friend, when the person that she had to resort to in order to get the job done anyway.
Yeah,
Essentially,
she
there
got
was a
framed.
whole episode or so in Kingmaker where Dark King Congress actually did track her down. It's like, this person doesn't actually have magic and is supposed to have used like a 9th level spell in order to kill someone.
Yeah, during that episode, her and Raven got into it really badly. She ended up revealing that she used to be a ruby, which is against the jewels. Like nobody's supposed to know about the existence of rubies, but you know,
I mean, makes sense that they don't really want to know that they don't really want you to know they've got a bunch of people that could. basically be anyone and slit your throat, snap your neck, poison you, get someone else to kill you.
Definitely seems like something they'd want to keep secret for sure.
Yeah.
Just a little.
I mean, that's just common wisdom for that one. So,
So when Chris Ellen notices her, she's like, "Shit, I got to deal with this bitch." And she tries to be nice, you know. She tries to do her Chris Ellen thing, and it's like, "Hey, let's go have a beer. Let's talk things out." And Ravina is not having that shit. She's like, "You motherfucker."
yeah, she went from living life as Diamond to being a spy master in the middle of a place that's rather underdeveloped, shall we say? There's quite the freaking character shift for someone like that.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, she's like, as soon as they talk, they like throw in verbal jabs at each other, and then Ravina's like, "Fuck this, let's just fight." And she squares up and she's ready to fight, and she tries to throw a punch. And because of Chris Ellen's amazing roles, once again, Doxy has some absolutely amazing roles. Um,
Uh, Back to old form
Kithel,
after the last session. she,
which,
it's just like Neil, where Neil had those episodes where it was like feast or famine, where like he kept on rolling natural ones, and then like the episode before that and the episode afterwards, he kept on rolling natural 20s. So
yeah, yeah. But Kithel, Kithel ended up stopping her punch.
yeah, I mean, it helps
And
when you're fucking huge and you're
Made of
basically
stone.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just puts
I
one hand
loved it.
down in front of her punch and she just punches his
Yep.
hand.
That's basically how it happened.
Oh my gosh.
The best part, though, and I don't know if you see this, Rita, was when he was talking to Ravina, and it was like two teenage daughters, and he was like, just he was just calling her name and like, "Ravina, stop." It's like,
It's
God
like, I
damn
know
it,
you don't
Kithel.
get along, but you're gonna have to find a way. We don't have time for this. Just goes on like straight like dad mode on
Yeah,
both.
that's
Yeah.
that was his nickname this episode is Daddy Kithel. It
Chris
was so
Ellen's over
good.
here like, she started it.
Yeah.
Ravina's like, are you serious? Like,
I think anyone
I'll
with
do it
siblings will know that
again.
feeling.
Oh man, that was so good though. I loved it.
From
So
there,
he
I
stops
was
the
hoping
fight and then
for more.
he's like, listen, let's take things down a notch and let's
Yeah,
go to my brewery,
yep.
which I think is really cool that he's like super into this, like this is his passion. Like on the side he's like, hi, I'm like this warrior, but like also
Well, he's not
I
actually a
do
warrior. He was never meant to be a
no
freaking fighter. He was always meant to be the like wise freaking like especially the big, strong, clumsy, but like he's the real nice like old visor
mm.
sort of person. Not necessarily old, but like I don't know how old he is. But like
so he's just trying to live his life and help people out.
yeah, he's generally just there helping for the sake of helping because he really wants to help people. Pretty much.
I like his
According
character
to
a lot.
chat, he's 12.
I doubt that personally, but we know he's at least been 8 at one point.
Sorry, Rita, what were you saying?
I said I like his character a lot.
Like when Scott first put that out, because I was the first person to make character, I had like 3 ideas in mind. I was like, because I'd just gotten like all the Pathfinder PDFs and that, so I was like, ooh, I really like the jumper race. I really like the idea of like some sort of crazy mercenary person. I like, ooh, I really like the elementals. Like, Oriads look fun. So I had 3 ideas, either like a damper, like some sort of expert sort of person, either Hobgoblin or something like Crossman or Kithel. And I went Kithel, and it's like, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
So while they're in their brewery, we find out some backstory about Kithel. This is the part I forgot. Kithel apparently used to be an X-Men.
Gotta start somewhere, you know.
Well, we already knew that his parents were human from when Cadus talked to him. So
Yeah. but he's an X-Men whose powers activated when he was 5 instead of being a teenager. So
I
in
don't know if that's
X-Men
good or
fashion,
worse.
Probably worse in this case.
in,
Uh,
in X-Men fashion, he was ousted by the rest of the town, and people hated him just because of what he looked like. And one of his parents followed, while the other one stayed. It ended up being his mother that went and followed him, and she ended up dying
cold
like the
winter.
cold.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Like
yeah,
I've
he
always
still has
said, I love beautiful tragic moments, and that's a nice one.
yeah, he has a really hard had a real hard life. So
But we also know there's
it's
another
nice.
Oread out there that's got ruby sort of things, so she's got emerald sort of things. So,
Yeah,
so there's potential as bumping into an Oread that's got rubies on them somewhere.
yeah. I'm really interested in seeing that guy also.
If they're still around, of course. We have no idea about the lifespans of these guys yet, so we have no
Yeah.
idea. We also have no idea whether or not that one could have pissed someone off.
Well, Kithel's living the decent life at least, so he gets to eat as much food as he needs. So,
How much
which we
food
find
do
out.
rock people eat?
Well,
And what do
going
Well,
they
we
to
know
him a
they
lot more
eat.
than. Well, it's also the fact that he's huge. Like when I was looking at Orioles, I had to look back a second time after I'd already sent the description and everything through. I was like, oh shit, they're supposed to be like 5 feet tall, and he's 7 feet. So
Oh, really? They're only supposed to be 5?
according to Pathfinder, they're like their one's like
Holy
4.5 and
shit!
5.5 sort of area sort of thing. I'm like, oh okay, so no, he's I made him huge. Okay, well it's the first one that's going to show up, and Scott's like, yeah, we'll do it, we'll do it. I'm like, so I guess Reds are big now.
That's why everybody thinks he's a golem. But in bad bitch fashion, Ravina shows up to the brewery dressed in the nines, absolutely ready to show the fuck off.
It is her
It's the
town.
only it's the only like thing that makes sense to do, you know? It's like didn't get to fight her, so just got to play her at her own game, you know?
Oh man, I love this. I love this thing, and I can't wait for another person to come in and like set these two back into like the real world. Because right now they're the only females in like a sea amongst men, a sea of men. So
Well, there's also
they
Nelly, who's that Vrogo person. Um,
nobody remembers Nelly.
yeah, yeah.
Kingmaker doesn't even remember Nelly. She's in the
I
room
think
with them.
I think Elijah does, but that's just because he had that little vision quest where he saw that she was pining after Grishka and Grishka was pining after the angel, and then basically he told Rara he seemed to be pining after Grishka too.
Oh man. Oh wait. If you guys go to Kingmaker, if you guys are going to Valorant. They know. Have they ever seen that axe, dude?
I think Nelly would have because it used to be Grishka's.
So if you guys meet Nelly, which now that we're bringing this to the forefront, I have a feeling you're gonna meet Nelly. Um, she's gonna know that's not your axe, Rena.
Not like she can actually do anything about it, but just a peasant turned priest sort of Vroga. So
I was going to say pretty sure she wouldn't be too happy with how I got that axe.
mm,
All I'm saying is Rena has that axe, and Kriska's been gone since season what 3 or 4. So
She looks a little sus.
mm.
A little. I mean, that's putting 2 and 2 together.
And with how she's pining after Grishka, there's also another reason to be sus, unfortunately.
and she's the follower of Roga. I think she's not going to be afraid to fight you, even if she has no chance of winning. Like, it's going to be real interesting.
Oh, because Ryan thought it'd be a fun idea.
This is going to be so interesting. I can't wait for this crossover now.
Hey, it's anyone's game apparently. We'll see what happens.
Jesus.
So that was pretty much it.
Was there any advisor that wasn't mentioned? Other than Green's mission guy? Was there? Because I think pretty much every single one of them has shown up in this week.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Ravina to. Once we remembered that she was supposed to be in Dragstone.
Yeah, that'd be fun too. Because Kithel also knows about Dragstone, and he's got friends over there. There's so many things that Kingmaker hasn't freaking asked him. Like, it's like, oh, we'll go send our spy master over there to go reconnaissance Dragstone. Like, I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Because someone close to the home that's not going to lie to you, like really trustworthy, that sort of thing, and he could tell you about the place because he's been there. But no, get on it. It's the same thing as that time we're like, oh, we need a gem crafter and that sort of thing in order to get this thing so we can cure Ravina of her gears and that sort of thing. Like, oh yeah, I heard Kithel's like, and they just sent Kithel down to be guard at the prisons for making sure Ravina doesn't get out. And, oh yeah, Kithel actually knows the thing about gem crafting. We talk with each other quite a lot. Oh, he knows about gem crafting? Oh, fuck. You go swap places with him. It's like, I mean,
Kithel's just the ace in the hole at this point.
Kithel knows a lot of people who's traveled a lot of places. They could probably try asking him about it at some point.
Oh, man. Speaking about Kingmaker, let's jump into Planeswalker. That was probably my worst transition yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't really feel like going back over and practicing that one, so. So I think I forgive you on that one.
I saw like some of the beginning of Planeswalker. Couldn't get all the way through it, but yeah, from what I understood of it, Grishka and Yara were traveling together for a bit, and something seemed a little off with Yara. Grishka didn't seem to really know how to handle this loss that he's got, but I'd love to hear you guys speak more on it, because Kingmaker is one of those campaigns that has eluded me for so long, because there's a lot to it, but there's also a lot of good backstory and lore in it, which I find really interesting.
So they lost Orsk's 2, because Grishka's 1, Yara's 3, and Orsk was 2. Orsk had an unfortunate fall.
An unfortunate question I forgot to ask last week. Now that Orsk is gone, does Yara become 2?
I don't.
Did she change numbers?
When one of them dies, does somebody else get the upgrade?
Are they reassigned? Yeah, because she's 3. Oh my gosh. Grishka turns to her and he's like, "You're 2 now." That's it.
Because then
how does that work?
Because Yondis, with his time spent with that group, also got a number as well, right? And that group died. Does that make him 3 then?
He's the only one left. It's 1, 2, and 3.
Which probably sucks for Jake, because that's his mentor did, but oh well. Yeah, no, they're still dealing with the aftermath of Orsk having the unfortunate fall and turning into an axe. Because he went splat, and if you die there and you're not denizen of there, anything can happen to your body, sort of thing. So there's that. And
an axe, you say?
Yeah. I mean, with the way weapons change hands between all 3 campaigns, I wouldn't be surprised if Oscar ended up with it. I mean, Oscar's got the most weapons on him, so
it's got to be at least one axe per campaign, So those are the rules. I'll make them. I'll just follow them.
To be fair, Jake's lost the most axes, I'm pretty sure. Devil Axe.
Wait, no, I don't know.
Another axe that he had before.
I think Rena might have lost the most.
He had an axe before he had an axe before he got the Barrenlands axe. He had Osugo's axe. He had the Devil's axe. He had the Living Iron axe that someone conveniently took to the Barren Lands with them.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He's still got the Barren
I
Lands
was gonna
axe, and he's got Orsk.
Rena lost all her axes in the beginning, and then she got new ones, and then she lost those.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. I think she's
it
lost
was like
most.
right afterward too, which was so. Oh, that was the worst. In the mud, they were gone. It was raining too hard, couldn't find them.
So there's 3 right there.
The only one that survived is the one hand axe that she's had from the beginning. I don't know how, but she's got it. So there's that.
The one hand axe of hope, eh?
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
she's still got hope.
Yeah, yeah.
Just get that thing enchanted so you can throw it and it comes back to you.
Yeah.
You'll never lose it.
This is the only one left. I must make sure I keep it. I'll find somebody who can enchant it for me. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're still getting over that, and the problem with Yara is that she's a paladin, and they're in a chaotic realm. So lawful and chaotic, and that is causing all sorts of trouble for her. Like, because it's trying to force her against that lawful alignment which she needs to do the paladin sort of thing. She still technically has it until the end of the episode, at least, so that's a good thing. They end up just wandering for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages and ages, carry on with that for a while, until they encounter some vines, which was rather unfortunate because they both got their asses handed to them basically by 3 things, with Grishka being level 9 and Yara being level 5.
So this is what I meant by karma, because with all the I think he rolled like 3 nat 20s.
I think he critical hit it against Jake like twice, and Jake's got a massively high AC.
Yeah, but he was also doing those grabs, like the
grapples, yeah,
combat maneuvers. Yeah.
He
rolled nat 20s on those. Yeah. He rolled nat 20s on those like multiple fucking times, and I think one time he rolled nat 20 back to back. So this is exactly the karma I was talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Like, Jake was like, "What the fuck? Why are you trying to kill us?"
Like, Scott, what are you doing?
Jake even had to take a moment because of how badly that went.
Like, it got so bad. Like, Yara was about to pass out, and
Jake couldn't even plane shifter. Yeah.
Yeah, he was gonna plane shifter, and then he rolled the nat 1, and this is Jake is convinced that Doug has some control over roll 20, because whenever he says roll a 1, like you're gonna
Jake rolls a 1, yeah.
Always roll the 1.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, I'm not gonna roll now because you just said it.
You already
and
said
now
it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll a 1. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my. Maybe he does.
So
maybe everything's going according to plan. I never know.
So yeah, they barely survived that, and I'd placed a fortune saver before that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'd played it before then because they were just wandering around lost for ever. So I was like, and blank guide maybe. As Scott read out on the stream, and then what turned up was 3 Barrior, which are satyrs, but they got 4 legs instead of 2. So like the goat lower half, like, and where the goat's head would be, they've got a human body sort of thing. Well, that was neat. That was interesting.
Yeah, for people who don't know what a Barrier is, because I didn't know, it was a playable race from Planescape, first introduced back in 2nd edition. I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, along with the 3 playable races were the Githzerai and the Tieflings. So when I looked it up, I got that information.
Yeah, so that's been interesting because they live in a chaotic plane, pretty much. They're a chaotic outer plane, so not as small as inner planes, I take it, because all the inner plane stuff we've seen so far has been pretty small in comparison. But yeah, it was kind of funny though, where Scott realized, oh, that wasn't the word he put in there. It's like I've been saying, "Ooh, I should trump card for Sugo back again," and that sort of thing. Like, no, this might be a lot more fucking funny if I put it as a fortune's favor. Given Sugo as a guide sort of thing in a chaotic realm, that sort of thing. Like, Sugo is my villain, my first villain, Kingmaker.
Oh wait, is that what you put?
Yeah.
Or Sugo as the guide?
Yeah, and Sugo guide maybe, and like, oh yeah, no, that's a completely 180 of the tone I was looking for with that, but I haven't encountered Barrow either, so it's still pretty interesting. We're talking like an angry orc blood rager sort of person who's can set things on fire at a touch sort of person. That Grishka's managed to keep the axe. Yeah, managed to keep the axe and spike chain off. So
no, wait, he didn't come before Orpheus.
He was season 2.
Yeah. I said he didn't come before Orpheus. Before I said he was Ophios before Orpheus, but he wasn't. Yeah, he came in season 2. So I think they started Regicide by then. Yeah, he's basically set shit on fire and let people die.
It was a world conquering sort of.
Sounds like someone I know.
World conquering sort of war raiding sort of tribal person. That yeah, if that one had popped up, that would have been interesting. But we got the Barrow instead. So no, well, like I said, completely 180 turn because these guys are nice and Sugo was.
Oh man, he did die in a deer though, so I would like to see him back. You know, even as a zombie.
Either way, I'm just gonna have to save up for another freaking moment to do that. Yeah, after they meet the Barrio and that sort of thing, the session really went really quickly after that.
So you said they had gone through some vines or something?
Yeah, some vines that really messed them up. Similar to the vines when they first walked into the place that became Cursed, but yeah.
Yeah, so back in Cursefall, when they were first trying to, I think this is season 1 actually.
Yep, season 1.
Season 1 of Kingmaker, they went to the place where their kingdom now is, and they were trying to get through that area, but there were like vines that would grab onto them, and they had to basically fight those off.
Little poisonous twig things running around in the shadows.
Yeah. But Kithel came, and because Kithel has such an affinity with nature, like everything, he basically was like parting the Red Sea. So they followed Kithel, and then they broke the curse long enough to just leave from there. But then they didn't break 3 curses all at once. So
at that point,
the curse ended up coming back. Yeah. So the curse ended up coming back, and they had to do it again later. But
and so the vines popping up now was a good little callback to that, and it would have been funny if there was a Sugo thing because it would have been like calling back to all of Grishka's biggest hits to get him to where he needed to go. Was kind of where I was looking at that one, but yeah.
I was wondering if, like, because of how things were described the first episode, like with Jake, like how things look very barren land like, and then with this episode we had like the attacking vines. If this place is going through his memories or whatever, and trying to like pick out, not pick out, but like changing the environment to environments that, you know,
it could have been a fun way to take it.
Yeah.
It would have been a fun way
to
like
connect to his mind.
Right.
So we also find out that there's giants, and they're in the Chaos realm, in Chaos plane.
We find out there's multiple types of giants, and that
what was it? I think it was the fire giants have got something about their fortresses or whatever keep out chaos.
I don't think he ever said fire. He was saying iron, and I think because Green has
he did say
knowledge.
He did say fire and ice giants at one point. It's either the fire ones or the ice ones which are keeping out, which can keep chaos effects at bay. Because there's ice fortresses, iron fortresses, all sorts of. There are more than one mentioned this time. And it's the ice one
The
that
iron,
Yara has to go through.
yeah, he's gone. Yara's gone through the ice one, which is the one that
That is
the centaur
yeah,
borrowers wanted to go to, and then there were the iron one, which has all the wards on it,
yeah.
which is what they set up, and they're not even
And they're making weapons and
considered
stuff.
to be a part of
Basically.
the
Yeah.
yeah. At this point, they're not even considered to be a part of that plane, even though they're technically there. It's kind of like they're not part of the plane because of all the wards. I don't remember fire giants, but I was thinking maybe the fire giants are the iron giants, and Green just knows, like, has that meta knowledge where he knows that he's bringing it because he mentioned it multiple times in chat. So I was wondering if he just
It was
either
also
his meta
mentioned a
knowledge
couple of
was
times
relevant.
in little voice chat thing afterwards. Fire chance as well, which is probably so. Yeah,
Yeah, I was just wondering if that was like meta knowledge. So, um, and so Grisker gets down after talking with the bars and learning how this plane works. Is basically the closer they get to the heart of the plane is they become more chaotic.
more it affects
The
them
creatures,
personally and their mind and that sort of thing. Yeah,
right. The
which is
creatures
a
become more
nice
chaotic.
change from poor where Ellen is, because he's been to the negative energy plane. And the closer you get to there, the more damage you take.
But he was saying that as they become, because things are different from the material plane and this plane, which apparently there have been multiple travelers and what's his name, Vroga's plane, which is kind of insane.
Insane. The
Multiple people
membrane.
have traveled through here. Yeah, that's insane, dude. I don't know, especially with how much Dell talks about how he hates what's that campaign setting.
I don't
It's
remember,
not
but I know
Star
he hates
Harbor.
fourth edition. No, I know it is. No, freaking Star.
Are you talking about GURPS?
No, he
No,
loves
not GURPS.
Scoops.
He loves
Starjammer
GURPS.
or something?
It's something else.
Was it Starjammer?
Starjammer.
Yeah. Or
It's something
Playdammer or
jammer.
something like that?
Spelljammer.
Spelljammer, yeah, Spelljammer.
Spelljammer.
Yeah, he hates that one where
Hmm.
it's all
Yeah,
traveling through
he
planes
as
and
much as
ships
he
and that
hates
sort of thing. So, yeah.
As much as he hates Spelljammer, he talks about like there being other travelers and travelers explaining those kind of things to other people. So that's so then the guy ends up telling Griska ends up talking to Yara, and he helps her understand as well. And Yara's telling Griska that she doesn't feel comfortable on the plane. She's like actually scared for once in her life, and that
Paladins and Pathfinder are supposed to immune to fear. So,
yeah,
Well, and
that's
having gotten caught up in the vines and things like that, obviously, she's like, okay, what is going on here? That
well, it's
makes
also
sense.
the effect of the plane because Pathfinder mechanically, Paladins after a certain level are supposed to immune to fear. She's feeling fear here,
Hmm.
which is like a really chaotic realm when she's really lawful. So, oh boy.
yeah, but
And now things like the vines and stuff can get to her. Now these sort of things can really mess with her.
she ends up breaking her oath when Griska asks her if she wants to come with him or stay.
Not to
Well, you know
leave.
what?
Yeah.
Before we get there, Griska prays according to the Brar. He says, "Hey, you have a connection with your God. Pray to your God for answers." And Frowick gives some answers. He says that he Mario jumps, basically. That Griska Mario jumps,
The
and
noise just.
the way Scott was
He's up
describing
there
it,
like, whoa, hey, Broga, what's up?
oh man, it was crazy. Um, the way he
I'm
described it,
just,
like
I'm
I
just
just
imagining now, like all these orcs, all these really extra people going, "Oh, the rogue just blink, just Mario jumping whenever they do
With
it."
the or the actual, yeah,
Like
the pose and everything.
it's the actual way they venerate Rogue, Mario jumping.
He jumps straight up. Yara looks up like, what? She's gone. Faint sound of coins in the distance.
It's just like Devroga, they all simultaneously Mario jump and start running.
It's like bing, 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 bing.
all I can imagine what he was talking about.
It's all of a sudden 8-bit.
Mario.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about a different plane.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They just left the third dimension.
Yeah. Welcome to the second one.
Oh.
But so Grisha goes up to Broga, and Yara's supposed to go fight her way through the ice castle and find some room and teleport back to the material plane. Apparently, we don't know where the hell she's supposed to go, but it's supposed to be through the portal, and we're all assuming it's a material plane.
Yeah.
And Grisha tells her not to trust the slumbering queen. Which, Rena, have you guys met the slumbering queen? No, right?
No, but they were in her
I don't think so,
hospital.
no.
They were in her hospital, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we
Because I think
messed up their hospital pretty good.
because Xander came down to talk to you. He's technically part of that as well, and she was in a meeting at the time. You guys went to the hospital. You guys were in the hospital for that because there was Ophios, and then you guys got caught after Ophios teleported, and Xander talked to you, and Xander's part of that. And she was still in a meeting, probably in another one at that.
It wasn't even a full day that we were there. It was like overnight, and then middle of the night we busted out. broke their ceiling, left an ice wall. No big deal.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just that ice wall eventually has to melt, right? In the middle of a hospital. well,
we made a new
free cleaning. Free water for cleaning.
Yeah.
It's a gift, really.
Doing our part.
Yeah.
Well, I say you heed Kriska's warnings about not trusting the slumbering queen.
Yeah, because Yara realized Yara doesn't feel right or whatever, so Kriska does the break enchantment thing because I think he has an item to do that at that point. Breaks enchantments over and that sort of thing. Huh. Why did I agree with the slumbering queen again? Something doesn't feel right here.
Something I think that the point that stood out to him though is like she was like, it's insane how much I actually agree with her because I don't trust her, but I agree with her on everything. It's like,
and the enchantment broke, and then it's like, whoa, something's really.
So yeah, apparently there was some kind of enchantment on 3, that made her very agreeable
to the slumbering queen. Yeah.
So not trying to throw you any spoilers, but
we are a spoiler podcast, so it's kind of inevitable. Just saying.
Yeah, a bit unavoidable.
And then
and we also love to bring in Patreon stuff and that sort of thing. So
yeah,
there's always going to be spoilers, people.
So Griska and what is this guy's name?
Shoot, Gilroy. Yeah, that was his name. And like, even we're having trouble remembering it, and Scott's like, "We need to write this down because I'm not going to remember it either."
I wrote it down, but
yeah. So Griska had a fun time with him.
Yeah, and he gives Griska his
sword.
I think it was supposed to be a knife. Yeah, it ends up being like a damn bastard sword because they stole a knife from the giants.
Yeah.
Or he stole.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was a giant's knife. Yeah, but she ended up being like almost a 2-handed sword. Yeah.
So that happened,
and it's basically like almost like Jack Sparrow's compass, except that it's just whichever direction you put it down, and it keeps facing that direction. So if you put it down in the direction of where you're wanting to go, it will stay in that direction. Pretty much. Like, while everything's moving around in chaos plane and that sort of thing, so it's everything else is going to keep moving, but that's going to keep pointing you the direction you're looking for. So.
Yeah. Because apparently it fights against the chaos of that realm, or it's supposed to ward against the chaos of that realm. So it always points towards where the chaos is, and that's where he's pointing.
Well, it always points in the direction they put it down. Yeah.
He warned that other people may try to get that weapon. So, you know,
I mean, I think
just
Grishka's pretty well aware of it, as you've already spoken, because he keeps losing everything anyway.
I mean, he has worse weapon now, and Yara wouldn't let him give it away, so he has at least 3 axes on him. You know,
Yeah,
It's a good amount.
it seems to.
yeah. I think Oscar's got like 6 spears, 2 swords, and a dagger.
You can never be too prepared, you know? Gotta be ready for anything, especially on the chaos plane? Not taking any chances. Don't blame him.
Oh, I'm just saying, how many axes does Rita have also?
I also have a lot. 3 currently, I think. Yeah,
And the growing sword.
you know,
So that's
they're
4.
relevant, but just kidding.
I'm just saying that 3 axes seem to be
It's the
the
magic
amount
number.
to have. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone
Scott sure
needs
loves his
to
threes, doesn't he?
have.
You just need good, better, and best. That's all you need
Hmm.
for options.
So that's gonna be it for all the episodes. I do have one question that I forgot to ask because we were talking about it, and you weren't here. It was the part. This was a couple episodes back, when Barnes actually gave you the pardon,
Hmm.
or right before. I'm sorry, it was before you actually went to the time temple. And um, one of the things that Cadus said to you was, "Hey, this guy sees Rena as a trophy."
Yeah, that other commander that we had
Yeah,
talked to.
the lieutenant commander,
Oh
Jacob
yeah,
Hauser,
yeah.
which I'll never forget because Scott can remember his name. I was wondering.
Someone has to, right?
Yeah, at least one
There's,
person.
there's, there's always going to be at least one person in chat that's going to remember his name, remember a name for Scott somewhere.
I was curious on why Rena didn't even listen to his proposal before shooting him down. Because I don't I I thought that she would shoot him down regardless, but I thought she would be like interested in actually hearing what his proposal was.
Right. I definitely felt like that would have gone differently had Cadis not warned her beforehand. She like they had just come out of a conversation where they were kind of being a little bit more open with each other, reconnecting, what have you. And so when he warned her, he didn't necessarily have to say anything to her because Rena can handle herself, and he knows that. But this is someone that he knows or has at least met enough times to know that like these are his intentions, like just be aware, and that's really all that he wants. So she had no reason to really question that, especially coming from Cadis, because she's like, all right, he's not going to lie to me, especially when our last conversation ended with we have to be able to trust each other, right, and be honest. And she's like, yeah. And so that was kind of her just taking him at his word and being like, why waste any time uh trying to hear him out when I already know what his intentions are in this case. So that's kind of her thought process behind it, was just like, I don't really have time, we're here for other reasons, let's get on with it, kind of impatient almost. So she wasn't really interested in whatever he had to say, because especially when he mentioned, oh, like I could offer you a pardon as well. And she's like, well, that's not the first time I've heard that, like get in line, like
Mm.
I don't know. But she was already trying to work with Commander Barnes and everything, and so she didn't really want to stray too far
Have to.
away. Yeah, because
Okay.
then if she had gotten into that with this lieutenant commander, then and Barnes had found out and felt like, oh wow, okay, now you're, what you, I knew you were unwilling to work with us, but you're even more unwilling to work with us because now you're making deals with this lieutenant commander instead, or whatever. It would have been kind of a mess. She was thinking like, okay, how am I going to keep my promise to Elijah here, and at least try to be helpful and work with Commander Barnes and so on. You know what I mean? So this was her kind of trying to navigate that whole okay, I gotta keep my promise here. Okay, Candace said this. Okay, all right. You know what? This is a waste of time. I don't need to talk to you. And then she just kind of left. So
Makes sense.
Okay. Um, we holding you for almost 2 hours, but you want to talk about a little bit about Atalia? Is that how you say her name? I know you
Atelia,
said it.
yeah.
Atalia.
Yeah, she's really cool. I'm excited about the Witcher campaign. Definitely a departure um
Rena.
from Rita. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Atelia has no feelings, Rena has all of them. You know what I mean? Like, so that'll be a nice like balance for me at least. I can just throw all of my feelings into Rita, and then playing Atelia is very much just like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever, you know. She's just along for the ride here, and hopefully getting paid for it as well. So
Yeah,
uh,
Rena's got to be emotionally draining, like, because
it
she's going
is.
through so much shit.
Walking away from some episodes, I won't lie, definitely have to take some time to just like decompress. You know, you guys notice me
Oh
drinking through
man.
the stream. I'm just kidding. Why? You know, no, I'm just kidding. No, but I definitely do have to like take it easy. And then of course I always talk to like Messi and Tyler, and talk to Gilrick as well, and the other PCs from the other campaigns too. Sometimes I just gotta like talk it out and be like, this is, oh, I can't believe this happened, you know, and they're like, I know, it's
Yeah.
fine. So that's kind of like gotta vent a little bit, but yeah. So the Witcher campaign should hopefully be little more relaxed. There is a lot to it though, because of the whole Witcher dynamic. She's got a lot that she has to deal with between
Hmm.
like the Witcher's version of magic, which is the signs, the alchemy portion of it, so all the potions, and just regular attacks and weapons and things like that. So there's a bunch to know, along with maybe some basic like monster knowledge too, because she's supposed to be the
Yeah.
expert in this case. So there's a lot to it, but I'm excited because it's kind of like an extreme crash course in the world of Witcher.
Yeah.
Um, so just taking it
Have
in.
you? Did you play the Witcher games before you? I think you
I
said no, right?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I have The Witcher 3, and I do plan on playing that soon, hopefully. Um, but I did, Messi has been really helpful in kind of explaining the lore behind The Witcher.
He's also played
To my
in another one that Scott ran as well. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
and that's
funny that
also
he's playing the source now, where it's going to be a case of, he's the one that's going to open up the portal to hell this time.
I'm really interested in whenever we get to meet his character, which I don't think will be next week, but maybe the week after, hopefully. I don't know if things go the right way, but yeah, yeah, he's
Yeah,
been
that is
helpful with that.
that's really interesting, also, especially because he didn't trust the source last time, and now he
Now
is the
he's the
source.
source. Yeah. What were you saying earlier? You like lived long enough to become the villain. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that is gonna be it for this episode. Unless any other questions?
um,
I think it's great. I appreciate you guys for having me on. I really enjoy the
I'm
podcast.
I'm just sad we couldn't have you on next week after you know
After the
the
other
crossover
crossover.
episode. Yeah, because I think you had a little bit more to talk about.
Oh, last week, or no?
I mean,
Oh, the week,
this
but
week, this week.
oh, this week.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, yeah,
next
yeah,
week.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, because you would have had a little bit more interaction. This week was kind of like really heavy for everybody.
Yeah. A lot to process. But hey, that's regicide, you know.
Yeah, it was great. It was great having you on, though. I'm really excited. Hopefully, we can have you again next some other time. So
Yeah,
you're
I'm
always welcome
down.
to come on whenever you want.
I appreciate it.
just got to get a hold of Jake next. He wanted to be on as well. We just got to, unfortunately, the crossover one kind of took it out of him, so he couldn't really be, my understanding. So, get a chance to talk to him again, see if we can get him on eventually.
Also, I would love some more members of the community to come on. I always have a good time when anybody comes on. So
That'd be
thank
awesome.
you once. Yeah, like I said before, Seth, that was my first time meeting Cell, so I had a great time when Cell was here. But let's close out this episode. Thank you again, all the cast members. You guys always put on a great show. Especially, Rita having to deal with that amazingly draining character. I don't know if I'd be able to deal with Rita every week having to go through the stuff she goes through. Um, thank you, Delric, for always putting in so much time and effort into your DMing, and thank you everyone else for listening. You guys are amazing. You guys are very supportive.
Have a good one, everyone.
Have a good one.